Welcome back, everyone, to the Atomic Islands. Between episodes, I decided to make another go at that ship. That was a complete failure, but I did run into some drowned, and one of them had a trident, and I thought it would be a nice idea to slap on impaling and loyalty. So therefore, I now have an enchanted trident. Now, unfortunately, it only has 62 durability, so it'd be nice if I could find some way to mend that, or if I can get mending, fish up a mending book or something like that. That we'll have to see. With that out of the way, I would like to head to a new island, one to the northeast of the islands where I was building at, where I am hoping to find a sizable desert. Maybe I could find a village there, and as well enough space to build my rendition of the periodic table. I think we found the large island. This certainly looks sizable, certainly a lot bigger than the ones that we've been seeing so far. And I also found a desert temple that could have something useful. Maybe not as useful as a village, but maybe there's a mending book in there. That would be nice, then I could start using a trident. After that rather disappointing series where I did, where the entire aim of it was to use a trident, and I think I've got one in the entire season, and it had something like 20 uses out of it, or something ridiculously small like that. So let's see what we have here. Well, that would be downstairs. Hopefully I'll find something useful in it. That TNT is actually going to come in handy because I'll be needing that for one of my builds. And I've got golden apple, gunpowder. Let's see. Well, a couple of nice... Ooh, an enchanted apple. Ooh, that's nice. Alright, nothing spectacular, but may prove useful. And an emerald. Maybe for some trading with the villagers. Alright, now I just have to figure out how to get this into my inventory and I'll be set. And here is our first village in this particular world. It's a desert village, which I suppose makes sense if we're in the desert. I just hope I'm not in one of those situations where I need to move it or anything like that, as I am doing in my railroad challenge. Let's see if there's anything interesting here, such as maybe a librarian with a mending book. Might be a bit much to ask for, but let's see if there's anybody home first. Okay, I hear villagers, so obviously somebody's home. We got a forge here. Armor. Well, not much yet. An armor there. 6 for an iron helmet. Well, a nitwit. A farmer. Ooh, a farmer would be nice to have. Okay, this could be a useful village. What do you have? 39. I only have 23 on me and 8 gold. Alright, I'll plop that there and be ready to sleep if needed. And I'll still lose it because that's what I do, right? Right. Getting lost is my hobby here. I didn't see much in that village of use, at least no librarians. I might make some use of those other villagers though, but here is a second village, and this one seems to be pretty small and right smack next to another one of these things. Well, time to have another look at another temple. I'll see you downstairs. I'll see if I have anything interesting in here. More string. Yippee. Bones. Well, okay, we don't need another saddle, right? Okay, and oh, emeralds. All right, that could be helpful in the efficiency 2. Might prove handy. Might prove handy. And finally, lots and lots of bones. And yeah. And of course, I left a lot of my stuff over at the other temple. Yay! I think I'm going to need to find a good place to put a base on this island. It's going to be where I'm going to work on my artwork. Librarian. Oh, okay, what do you got here? Loyalty 3! Really? Yeah? Leather worker. Okay. Oh, is this cartographer? Leather worker. Is this leather workers and cartographers or something? 3 leather workers. Good grief. Well, there's this armor. Not a bad price for the steel helmet, but I think that's an initial cartographer I found earlier. So, armor. Okay, well, maybe I could unlock some better ones with that librarian. I'll just have to get some stuff over here. But this is way east of the first one. So, did I see somebody? Oh, I guess it maybe just was an illusion. I was thinking someone was, but what are you doing way up there? But I suppose those are easily reachable. Oh. Librarian, this is the... No, that's the one with the loyalty trade. Alright, well, so much for that. Let me see if I can find... Let's see. I have to choose one of these 2 villages because the village is going to become very important, a very important part of my system also, because I'll need that for one of my builds as an emerald trading center. And one of my builds is going to be, there's a savanna up there. It's going to be Emerald City, which is going to be element 4 when I get around to that. But for now, I want to finish raiding that area, and I'll need to collect all my notes for those 2 areas and finish exploring this island. And it looks like our savannah also has a village. In fact, if I'm going to use a village to be my Emerald City, it's more likely going to be a savannah one. So that will be this place here. Of course, there is no jungle temple near this one since we are no longer... Actually, we are right on the border of the desert here, so that's something that could have theoretically happened, but it looks like we've got a cleric here at least. Good, because I've got all this... Oh yeah, I left it next to the temple there. Oh, here's a white coat. Librarian. Respiration 3. Ooh. That'll be useful. Alright, that's a useful enchantment. that'll sort of help with that trouble that I was having before in that shipwreck. So finding more shipwrecks, I could have a little bit easier time with it. Hello there, cartographer. Certainly won't have trouble finding maps now. Butcher. Yeah. And again, maybe this won't be Emerald City. Yeah, this is a little bit too wet. This is like Lake Town from the Hobbit. Yeah, welcome to Esgaroth. Okay, I'll call this one Esgaroth. Yeah, really. So that's that area. So that's our a shepherd. So I'm gonna have to go and take a census from all these villages. I have 3 villages on this island. 2 desert temples, each of them which has a chest of goodies in it that I've placed there. And hopefully it'll have what is going to be the most precious commodity of all, and that's some space. Now, you'll say, it's a desert. Of course it's going to have space, yes. But I need space that's going to fit within a map, first off. A, fit within a map, and B, that will be flat enough so that I can actually do the build, though I suppose if I get myself an enchanted diamond shovel, I might be able to amend that situation if it doesn't exist. There you go. And maybe it's not time to explore that. I've returned to the first village, and this is where I'm thinking of setting up shop. I placed a couple of chests here. I collected the stuff that I left at the 2 desert temples. I've got myself an empty map now. I want to see where this places everything. I'm hoping that this is the center point of the map or close to it. Let's see. And good, I seem to have calculated that properly. That's good, because right here, if I see this correctly, this is where we are going to have our village. Yeah, the village is right at the edge. Boom. Yeah, the village is just outside. And that's perfect, because I want the village to be... I don't want anything that will interfere with the build, because the idea here is to build the periodic table, so I'm going to need a huge amount of space. Now, yes, we do have that little lake of water there and a lake of fire over there that I will have to deal with. I'll have to fill this in. And now over here there is a ravine, but I believe that this map ends. Yeah, because now the map has ended and the ravine is down a little bit this way. Actually, I'm a little further the ravine than I thought. Okay, yeah, here's the ravine. So you have this ravine right here. So it'll be a place to get some resources, but it won't interfere with my map. So those 2 sides are okay. Now, what about the other 2 directions? Now, I don't think I know of anything major that will get in the way there. Though I will have to do quite a... Obviously, we've got that massive hill over there to deal with. But I could just move a lot of that sand into there. So that at least will be useful. Now here, of course, we've got this thing here, which I'll have to get rid of. probably turn it into obsidian, and then once I turn it into obsidian, then I could cover up with sand, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Good. And then finally down to this. I'd say the biggest thing is that I am going to have a great deal of flattening and stuff like that to do, but I was expecting to have to do that, and it's good I found a spot I think will mostly work out. I mean, yeah, I think this will do nicely. This is crazy in the luck department. On one side, I barely missed a ravine. On one side, I barely miss a village. Well, there I don't miss the hill, but a hill can be taken down for sand. And on this side, I barely miss a river. I mean, really? What do you say for that for luck? Of course, I am going through shovels like crazy. Perhaps not as lucky as I thought, because here's the map I've got. The gray stuff on the corners is where I have placed my cobblestone so far to indicate the border. And you see I've got a little bit of border. I don't have it all the way around the hill, and I still have things to flatten out. But I just came to realize that the width is only half of what I need. I need two maps horizontal with each other in order to build this table. Whoops! So that means I need to either go over this river, which would be a bit of a chore, or let's see what's on the other side to see if that's going to be any better. And of course, if that's just as bad, then I would have to find another site or just put up with a little bit of pain. But I suspect that in Minecraft, you're going to have a very difficult problem to find a location that has absolutely no pain in it when doing a build this large, unless you had something like a super flat world. Let's see, well, I just missed that lava. Alright, so I've already turned one lava area into obsidian, as you could oh, I've already covered it up so you can't see. And since this looks like it's just hills, maybe I have to graze this river a little bit, but I might even get away with... Oh, it's still going to be a huge amount of digging. It's twice as much as I was expecting to do, but it looks like I can still survive the ordeal. Alright. Good. Out in this direction, my luck isn't quite perfect, but it certainly could have been a lot worse. We do have this drop right here, but I'm going to have to level this hill anyway. Or maybe not, because this happens to be right at the bottom. And I actually have calculated, we know how well that works, that the bottom 9 blocks won't actually be part of it. So I may just leave that or do minimal work on the bottom 9 blocks. I'm not going to worry about it as much until I do the top areas and make sure I'm calculating that right, of course. So what I'll do is I'll start up at the top area and then work my way down. Now the other place where things are going to be a challenge is right here. And you see we've got a river running through. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this does encroach into areas where I'll be having my build. So I am going to have to worry about this river right here, but I don't think it's as large as the river on the other end, and I think the terrain is still, despite a few hills here and there, friendlier than in the other direction. So I think I have my build site, and that's a problem that I think that a little water can fix. Alright, good, and done with that. So I think I've got my site selected, and that everything is, well, may not work out perfectly, but I think I can get a nice flat area, especially in the upper areas, which is where I'll begin, because this is not a 1-episode project. This is not a 2-episode project. This is something that I'll probably come to and leave every once in a while, because it's probably going to take me the entire season to do this, because we are talking about 256 by 128. That is 32,768 blocks. I'm going to use sand as my background simply because it's already here. And that'll give me fewer blocks I have to worry about. So this is the site where I'll be building my periodic table, and this is going to include 118 of all those elements, and it's going to include the atomic symbol for each one. So it will be massive in order to fit onto a pair of maps. Unfortunately, that is all that we have time for today. In our next episode, I'm hoping to get myself into a position where I could start building. And that means going down to about halfway down and getting that all flattened out, because one of the things about the periodic table, the best place to measure from is in the middle. When you start to hit row 4, when you start to get the transition metals, because until you get to row 4, you're not going to have your horizontal measurements right, because I don't want to try to calculate with that big gap between hydrogen and helium and find out, oops, I did something wrong. I'll either do that, or I may work on doing something with this village, because this village is going to be turning into one of my builds. Yes, it's going to be right next to the periodic table. Lucky beryllium for that. But I want to make sure that this place will make an appropriate location for my Emerald City. Which one I do, we'll find that out in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft: The Atomic Islands.